This river is Qiantang River, one of the major rivers in China, and this river is going to flow further downstream into the Hangzhou Bay. Because of all this discharge, the seawater of Hangzhou Bay have been degraded to a level of worse than Category 4, meaning the seawater is not useful anymore.
Yet again, air quality monitoring in the Chinese capital had shown the atmosphere to be severely polluted.
雾霾天气之后，没有找到原因，也没有找到解决办法。
The degradation of water quality over the past 20 years has had a devastating effect on the health of the villagers.
Schools are shut, flights cancelled, highways closed.
The water in the Yellow River is too polluted to touch, let alone drink.
Even Chinese officials call the air unbearable.
它3个口，它分了排，1个口、2个口、3个口。它如果1个口，它不是我分析啊，它不是就是一个大管子往那一出就算了，绝顶聪明啊这些。
I got the chance to travel in different parts of China in the mid-1990s, and I was struck by the environmental damage, especially the degradation of our rivers and lakes. The air pollution now, about 80% of our cities cannot meet up with our rather modest air quality standards. And that has exposed hundreds of millions of urban residents to potential health hazards. I think that's not a future for China. That's not a future for the world.
哎，是这个，不是。您说这个管子已经不再排在这个里面去了，是吗？这一根管子是这根是那个排放的管子吗？然后现在它怎么能够从哪边能排到那里面去啊？那个管子是怎么走的？是从这边这么走的吗？在哪个？啊？划被骂哦，要骂。
When we look into the issue, it's not just a matter of technology or money, it's the lack of motivation.
您说的非常对，在过去几年呢，我们的这个政府，尤其是地方政府，都是把发展经济、把拉高 GDP 作为它的这个第一目标。
We copy laws and regulations from the Western countries, but the enforcement remains to be weak. In other countries, people go to the court to use the judicial system to drive enforcement. But in China, environmental litigation is still extremely difficult, and the cost of violation continues to be lower than the cost of compliance. To change that, we have to strengthen enforcement.
原水当中就是原水当中超过了你的那个能接受的浓度，是这意思吗？
第29倍。
对，你看这个就是达标与否，它写的是否，因为它这个。
We have to make sure that all this information about the pollution discharge and the environmental management is disclosed to the public. This could empower the people to get involved to try to help supervise the pollution control efforts. So with that, I started this institute, and the first project is to compile all this environmental data to put it into a searchable, user-friendly platform. This is the pollution map. We are the first group who try to focus on transparency.
那么它的这种模式呢最大的亮点或者说最大的实用价值，它在于呢，一个是即时，一个是动态，一个是全民参与。这种互动不仅仅是个别企业、部分企业的，而是整个它对咱们中国就整个这个 污染地头里面15000多家企业，它是一个警示，是一个推动。
Those brands, if they truly need to green their supply chain, we help them and provide a resource for them, help them to create solutions.
6趟，就是去到6趟在那个地方。我不知道您去过他们那个排放口吗？反正也是挺壮观的一个地方。那么印染行业呢，就高度集中在这些地区，但是我们也看到这些地区呢，污染形势也都是非常严峻的。
听到 IPE 这个呢，是大概3年以前，是尤其我们那个客户哈，就尤其许多客户提出呢，如果要获得他们的订单，他一定要 IPE 这面呢消除一些不良的记录。对这个指标的提高呢，也是有的时候呢，每次下来以后，我们感觉压力都非常大。今天正在谈这个事，就是说每个公司装在线检测这个表，
就是最后还是要有一个企业，就是最后能够让某一个企业他要负这个责任。如果没有这个，后面到最后还是大锅饭，就会显示为这个严重的这样的一个超标的情况的话，那恐怕就会引起社会的一个很大的这种关切。
I think the most challenging part of my job is to bridge this pretty major gap of distrust, especially with some of the key stakeholders like the government and the business. It needs to be managed in a quite delicate way.
谢谢马老师啊，这样我们要么先吃饭吧，好了哈。这个吃饭呢不能光吃饭，就是周边的环境也考察考察。实际上就是往我们那边去啊，就是周边工厂的这个环境哈，往那边去我们。
It's very hard to balance the economic growth with environmental protection. No one can do that by sitting in the office and making all these calculations. You have to involve different stakeholders so that they can come together, through negotiation and bargaining, and eventually come up with something in the middle, something more balanced and sustainable, and that's our challenge. I learned that with every 1,000 records put into our database, we can get one factory to respond, to change behavior. I feel that's, the most rewarding.
而接受以后，你在这样的一种工作压力下面，你就没有办法的，毫无选择的，你要去矫正，你要去把这个污染要把它给排除。
That database became a tool that Apple could use. We go and find the facilities that are a problem per their audits, and then we audit them. And then we work to ensure that any problems that are found have been corrected.
In Beijing, I still remember those blue sky, the dazzling sunlight. We need to find our way to sort back our blue sky and clean water.